Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're having a lovely morning. Welcome back to our live Global Hack Studio in Oslo, Norway. My name is Matt Smith, and I am your host for the live sessions today and throughout this weekend. I have a very special guest to bring on to all of you this morning. This special guest is Marina Ponti. She's the Global Director of the United Nations Sustainability Development Goal Action Campaign. Now, before I introduce her and get her on camera just yet, I was sent a message just shortly that I have to share because this just goes to show the level of involvement globally by the largest and the littlest organizations. Everyone is dropping everything. Marina's team were onboarded into the Slack channels that I'm on, that everyone involved is on, partners and participants and mentors and organizers. They dropped everything of all their other activity and have been working 24/7 since they started. And I wanted to acknowledge them like a special ops level team making things happen within the United Nations. So, Maria, how has it been and how has it been since you joined?
First of all, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity, and let me say that this has been an amazing experience. I mean, we are a global campaign, and our essence is really to build a movement to change the world and to make the world a better place. And we connected so easily and so spontaneously with the teams, with the hackers, and with really the very strong sense of solidarity that is alive and kicking in this movement. So we really feel part of the same family.
Thank you. And the UN, such a huge organization, globally, huge footprint. It can't be too easy to immediately decide to join something like this. Why did you decide to join the Global Hack?
Well, the current pandemic that is the biggest crisis that we are facing together since the formation of the United Nations 75 years ago. The crisis is impacting everyone, of course, different degrees everywhere. So that's why we strongly believe that we have to come together from all corners of the globe, from all sectors, from all generations, because this is just the only way. So the Global Hacker to us represent the only way possible solution to this crisis, but then also beyond.
And you mentioned the only possible solution. Now, we hope that there'll be many solutions to many problems that will come out of the Global Hack. There are 11 industry verticals, from education to health, of course, medical technology, financial technology. What are you hoping to come out of this Global Hack?
Of course, we want to see and we want to promote all the solutions across the amazing tracks with the amazing inspirational leaders. We also have designed and set up our own track, which is called Solidarity in Action, because we see that this crisis has deepened our sense of global citizenship. We feel a stronger sense of people coming together, helping each other, and we really want to tap into this amazing community to find ways in which people can be together, can show solidarity, can join forces, and we want the same movement to then continue to help us achieve the Sustainable Development Goals once the crisis is over.
And you mentioned once the crisis is over, because what are the key things to addressing the corona crisis at the moment and beyond?
So I think there are now very important messages which the World Health Organization has been disseminated. We have them. So we need to wash our hands. We need, and we call it not social distancing, but we call it physical distancing, because I think socially, as a society, we need to be close together and we need to help each other. And then, of course, we need to fight the fake news. We need to really base our behavior on the fact. And we need to also, while the crisis is still going on, we need to start thinking of the society we want after the crisis. So I think that this crisis is showing us that maybe some of our behaviors, some of the policy, some of the investment that were made were not really in the right sector. So I hope that this crisis will help reshape the priorities for the future.
Thank you. And in terms of your involvement in the hackathon, what is the UN's contribution to this hackathon? What are you making available?
So we, first of all, when we were inspired by the organizer, and we actually, some of my team members, because we are a global team, but based in Bonn, Germany, so some joined the German hackathon, and they were so inspired. So then we kind of quickly said how we can help. So what we did was a massive outreach to all governments, local government, to all civil society activists, to parliamentarians, to the media, so to really bring different sectors, because solution requires, technology, but also require, vision, require, different skills. So we wanted to really engage, and also our partner in Africa and Asia, Latin America. So we really helped to make sure this is a global hack.
Yeah, it very much seems, I mean, it sounds corny, but the United Nations really have United Nations in this global hack, and pulling strings everywhere you can. The participants involved are another aspect of things. I know the teams on the grounds respectively have done a fantastic job to do so, to organize the teams, give them the resources that they need, both digitally and other. What is a message that the UN would like to share to those teams, wherever they are, whoever they are?
So let me say, for the United Nations, as all know, the essence is with the people. But sometimes the with the people is a very rhetorical sentence. I think this initiative makes we the people comes to life. So my message to the participant, to the team, is you're amazing. I mean, there's no other way to define. And looking across the Slack channels, looking across the initiative, the project, I'm just blown away by the creativity, the passion, the commitment. And I really hope that this same energy can be deployed, once the crisis is over, to achieve a better future for everyone.
And that's a very key point. After the crisis, hackathons are, by definition, a typically 48-hour period, and that's the one we're exercising during this global hackathon, where ideas come to light. They get MVPs, minimum viable products, get built, tested, trialed, you name it, in a very short period of time, and then they go to market. So what will the UN do to support after the hackathon? Come Monday, will your involvement finish, or what are you planning to do to help the initiative see it through?
To me, this is a very amazing process. So you need, you will have over the weekend, and on Sunday we will be awarding, the winning initiative. But you will have a lot of, people, expert across Slack channel, across teams engaged. So what we hope to do is really to support all initiatives that have a kind of a long-term impact in improving, the lives of the people and in safeguarding the planet. We want to accompany this initiative, support them, and we also want a new partner. We believe that the people that are participating in this hackathon are inspired by the same, goal of improving the life of the people, protecting the planet, protecting the most vulnerable, and actually building a better future. So we want to continue to support and engage, and then maybe once in a while hack some new ideas, because this is very inspiring and needed.
Actually, just before we move on, if anyone watching this would like to ask Marina a question, write it in the comment box below right now, and I will ask it before we finish this live stream. But Marina, has the UN been involved in hackathons beforehand, or is this the first time you're getting involved in such a thing?
I think that, there are certain areas of the UN, because, for example, UNDP, which is the development agency of the UN, has launched a couple of years ago a very innovative initiative with the accelerator labs, and they've been working with hackathon. But as a UN, I think this is the first time the UN endorse and drop, as you said, everything and support, working in partnership, the global hackathon.
Exactly. And the focus in this hackathon is quite unique because not always, typically hackathons will have an industry vertical mostly. So it'll be a hackathon for fintech, financial technology. It'll be a hackathon for educational technology, and you name it. In this instance, we have multiple verticals, multiple industries, but all within the sustainability development goals, which is fascinating because future development in technology and getting ourselves into the new norm, as we tend to call it now, having the SDG goals at the core of that, it's almost like allowing us to press, not reset, but allowing us to it's very hard to build things while you're in motion. I think that's an example in the tech industry. On the fly is the term given, where, you know, an example of train tracks while the train is going, right? But this corona crisis, whilst it's been terrible in some areas and many areas, it's also given us the time that slow that train down, and we're allowed to put a few extra tracks in front of us and put the core of the sustainability development goals at the forefront of that. And it's fantastic that organizations like yourselves are supporting that. Is there any message you want to say to the organizers just before we finish this live stream?
So I just want to thank them, thank you. I mean, this is amazing. And I really, as you said, hackathons usually are vertical, based on one message, on one problem, on one challenge. I think that the complexity of our society requires this multi-thematic approach, and we, through this hackathon, we see that there is no health without education, there is no investment without sustainability. So all these goals are part of the complexity of our society, and we need to start dealing also with this multi-layer approach. So thank you, organizer. Actually, my second and maybe even more important message is that we want to continue to work together because we share the same goals.
Thank you, Marina. There is a question from our lovely audience. Is the global hack going to lead to improvement and new developments regarding global governance?
So in a way, this global hack gives power to the people, because the people and participants can bring ideas. Then I think it would be one of our role of the United Nations and other global institutions to pick up on some of these ideas and actually to use them to improve, if it's education, if it's environment, if it's investment. Of course, governance is key. I mean, having transparent and responsive institution is key to any environment to grow and sustain. So this is really a priority.
Thank you, Marina. I'm going to summarize on that point. You mentioned something which I thought was beautiful. It's not social distancing, it's physical distancing.
Yes.
I'm going to take that one with me, and I hope you will too at home as well. It's not social distancing, it's physical distancing. That's a very good point. Let's change that narrative. Marina, thank you so very much for all your contributions, your fantastic team at the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals campaign group, as well as everyone involved to make this happen. Thank you, Marina, and stay tuned, everyone. We will be back shortly with another chat later on. We're going to try and get one of the Indian teams in, so stay tuned. Again, if you have any questions, if you want to get hold of the United Nations, Marina's available. She's ready anytime. We'll make it happen. Thank you so much, Marina.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you very soon, everyone. Have a nice morning. See you soon.